Good. All right. So our scripture reading today is one that I really love from the Gospel according to John, chapter 15, verses 12 through 27. Listen now to the word of the Lord. Jesus said, "This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. No one has greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. You are my friends if you do what I command you. I do not call you servants any longer, because the servant does not know what the master is doing. But I have called you friends, because I have made known to you everything that I have heard from my Father. You did not choose me, but I chose you. And I appointed you to go and bear fruit, fruit that will last, so that the Father will give you whatever you ask him in my name. I am giving you these commands so that you might love one another." The word of the Lord. Dear Lord, may the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be truly acceptable to you. Hear now. When I think about my deepest, most existential fears, probably the one that comes up the highest is the fear of loneliness. You know, that someday, when all's said and done, it'll just be me, my thoughts, and not much else. It's a scary thought, I confess. And I do a lot to try to combat it, right? I sing in choirs, I come to church, I participate in a lot of activities, but nonetheless, I fear for souls. And I guess it's comforting in some ironic fashion that there are a lot of people like that. So we're together in our fear of being alone, if you will. I recently read a study out of the UK where 9 million adults admitted to being alone, or feeling alone, all the time or often. That's a real epidemic, especially in a country that it's not that big, maybe 50 million people or so. And what did the government do? They saw this as a crisis, and they only knew one way to combat it, the way they always do. Make a new office, led by, and I kid you not, a minister of loneliness. I heard it on NPR, so it must be true. Yes, it's humorous, but it does speak to a truth in our lives, that we need companionship, that we need people to call friends. This company can feel that. Especially as we get older, according to the National Institute on Aging, friendships are especially important once we get past about 65 years old. Friends are the people who keep us healthy, happy, and secure. Fortunately for all you college kids out in the audience, you're in the perfect time of your life to make new friends, for several reasons. The criteria that are commonly listed for making friends: proximity, repeated unplanned interactions with other people, and being in a setting where it's easy to let down one's guard. College is such a pressure point, right? You're competing with so many other people, you have so many things to do. You need someone to talk to. You need a friendly face, someone to share your struggles with. Once you get past the age of 25, however, and this speaks especially to me, friendships begin to decline in number, according to a study out of Aalto University of Finland and Oxford. It's not easy to make friends. According to Kansas University, I think this is my last study, it takes, on average, 90 hours with a person to become a friend with that person. 90 hours. Don't ask me how they did that study. I'll trust their methods. And if you want to become close friends with someone, forget about it. 200 hours spent just with one person. It's a long time. But it's so important. I see it in my own life that even now in graduate school, when I still ostensibly have a lot of the same resources as college students, it's hard to make new friends. I find that some of the people with whom I'm still the closest are friends I made in college. And I do my best to keep in touch with them, but they'll tell you I'm not very good at it. It's not easy to keep in touch with people, yet it's so important. Now, as this is a sermon, I'd like to talk about Jesus. Jesus was a guy who in so many ways modeled ideal, good human interaction. And as far as interpersonal relations go, being a friend, I think he was really a great example for us. I love this passage because Jesus does not call his disciples servants. He says specifically, you are no longer my servants. I call you my friends. And in so many ways throughout the Gospels, Jesus really shows this to be true. He puts it into practice. And his disciples were really more friends than anything else. Now, admittedly, sometimes it was a one-way street. Disciples weren't always the best of friends. But nonetheless, Jesus put a lot of faith in them as his friends. He was always very patient with them. He explains parables several times over, in many cases. And even then, they still didn't get it all the time. Sometimes a little blockheaded, those disciples. Jesus saved their skin on many occasions. I like to think especially about the passage where Jesus calms the storm. The disciples and Jesus are on the boat about to sink. They call out to Jesus, and he rebukes the storm, telling them to stop. I love this passage, especially in its metaphorical quality. For in times of my life when I face something, it happened several occasions, I like to think of God as being there for me, calming our storms, rebuking the winds, making things calm. And that's really what a friend is for Israel, being with us in the storms. When Jesus' friends suffered, he was there for them, and he showed true, raw emotion. Think of Lazarus, Jesus' good friend, who lay in the tomb for 3 days before Jesus arrived. And when Jesus got there to Lazarus, he sat by the tomb, and there are 2 simple words in one verse in the Bible, the shortest verse. Jesus wept. He sat by the tomb, and he let these tears of unfiltered emotion pour out from him. For truly the grief he felt at losing a friend was such a grief that one cannot really describe. Pure, unfiltered, raw. Jesus was also not afraid to be vulnerable with his friends. The Garden of Gethsemane is a classic example when Jesus was at the darkest point in his life, knowing that he was about to be condemned to death. He brought his disciples with him to the garden. When he spoke with his heavenly Father, yes, but he wanted his disciples to be there with him. As they laid the night with him, to bear witness to his pain and comfort. Again, they didn't do a very good job of that. But nonetheless, I think it speaks volumes that Jesus wanted them there, that he needed them there, on a human level, to be witnesses to his suffering, his vulnerability. And finally, Jesus gave up his life for his friends, as this passage says. And whatever side of the theological spectrum you fall regarding what the crucifixion meant, and I admit my perspective is a lot more on the liberal side of things, I think you cannot deny that the crucifixion was an act of true, powerful love. It was a culmination of Jesus' life's work, which he spent fighting against the system, campaigning for justice, peace, mercy, and giving his friends, his disciples, and all people something to live for, a reason to be optimistic, to be hopeful. He knew, he must have known his words would lead to his strength, and powers that he would not accept something so radical, as we've seen throughout history. And yet he lived his life the way he knew how, the way he intended to live, so that we might have hope. Now, I'm not going to say that, like Jesus, it's necessary that we all literally take a bullet for our friends. I hope that doesn't have to happen for any of us in this room. But we are called to love our friends, to be there for them in their times of need. And furthermore, Jesus calls us to love our neighbors, and more radically, to love our enemies. What a powerful message that is. I know there's a person in my life right now whom I really struggle to love. A person who seems diametrically opposed to everything I hold dear, who has done interminable damage to some people close to me. And I'm called to love this person just as I love my friends. How can I? Dare I say it's not humanly possible? We must attain it. We must strive to attain that love. And the only way we can is to start by loving our friends. Maria! If we cannot love our friends, how can we love our enemies or the strangers in our lives? What are we called to do? Well, for one thing, I think we're called to reach out to new people, to the strangers among us, to make new friends, to combat this crisis of loneliness, the basis in our lives and in the lives of others. It may be trite, but an unfamiliar face may just be a friend you haven't met. After all, the disciples were strangers to Jesus when he first called them, and he was a stranger to them. And yet, they followed when he called, and they became the closest of friends. We always need to be present for our friends. Whenever a friend is in trouble, needs our ear, needs a helping hand, we must be there for them. I've tried to do this in my life. It's not easy, but it's a calling. I think it's a spiritual calling on so many levels that we must be there. Other commitments should always be secondary in life in helping a friend. And similarly, just as we should be present for our friends, we should seek to be vulnerable with our friends too. When we have something gnawing at our heart, deep in our soul, we must also be vulnerable. Where the pain we bear cannot be borne alone, must be shared with others. That's what friends are for, right? And if you can't count on your friends to be there for you, why call them friends? I think we have this crisis that's exacerbated by the idea of Facebook friends, right? I have probably about 500 Facebook friends, and maybe a dozen or so people in whom I would really feel comfortable in life if I had a deep, dark word on my heart. And that doesn't seem right to me. It doesn't seem right that this expression friend should be bandied about in such a cavalier fashion. And other cultures, I think, are very far ahead of us in this respect. In Germany, when I learned German, I was always taught the word Freund, friend in German, is a word that's really reserved for the people who really are true close friends, who really care and will be with you. And I think we could learn something from it. The only way to overcome the pain and trauma we have is to let it out, to be honest, to share our feelings, to have a friend there for us. As Christians, we know we have the greatest friend, right? Our Heavenly Father, who is there for us in our times of need. God is always there. I know in my dark moments, I've always called out to God, first and foremost. Asked Him for help and support at times of need. And He's always there. God is always there for us. But we need to pass that love that God has for us along to other people. And we do that through friendship. I hope that we will all attempt to follow the example of Jesus as best we can. Being a friend of the world and all people in it. Turning our lives toward love, joy, and peace. Be a friend. Be a true friend. In the times of need as much as, or more than, in the good times. That is a mark of a trustworthy, loving friend who deeply, honestly cares. Do whatever it takes for your friends. For truly I say, as the scripture reading told us, there is no greater love than this. Worship team, another formal song.